Hey everybody, welcome to Miss Valley Entertainment News. My name is Dread. I've been getting pretty excited about Dragon's Dogma 2 coming out. I've already installed the character creator and gone through that. I did a video on that on my Miss Valley Gaming channel. And what else can I tell you about about Dragon's Dogma 2? I am pumped for this game. I played Dragon's Dogma, the first one, Dark Disciple. Dark Disciple? I think that's what it's called. But I didn't finish the game. I never did finish it. I got sidetracked. Probably never going to go back and finish it now, or at least not for a few years. I'm going to be quite busy, but I'm excited to play the second one. I pretty much know what's in store for me because I have a good understanding. Having played the first one, is not going to be a lot of difference. It's going to be more graphical improvements and things in this one. But the basic gameplay and the way the world is set up is going to be quite similar. But if you don't know, if you think you might know what Dragon's Dogma is going to be about, Dragon's Dogma 2, and you haven't played the first one, chances are you actually don't know, because it is quite the different kind of game than you're going to be used to. When people comparing it to other games are just dead wrong. You can't compare it to Baldur's Gate 3 or this or that or anything else or Skyrim or nothing. It's not like any other game. And I think that's a good thing. But it had some faults, the first one, and we'll see if the creative director here and the people at Capcom have managed to overcome those faults. I have great hopes that they have for the second game. But now I want to take a listen to what somebody else is thinking about Dragon's Dogma 2. Listen to somebody else's hype for this game. So we're going to react to this video by Jenna Rubicon. Jenna Rubicon, sir. I feel like I'm in the army. I don't know. And his video here is called Dragon's Dogma 2 will be awesome. I can't talk. His video is called, let's try that again. Jenna Rubicon. His video is called Dragon's Dogma 2 will be massive. And this is my reaction to that. By the way, link down below to Jenna Rubicon's original video. Please go check it out for yourself if you so desire. And say hello to him. And by the way, if you haven't considered subscribing to the channel, I would love it if you consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It helps me out so much. Here we go. Let's get into it. Let's do it.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be absolutely massive.
Hey, I've heard of Dragon's Dogma 2. Oh, sorry. Stop the video already. I'm sorry.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting on bated breath for this game's release ever since I finished my playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3. It's a common thing that all of us RPG enjoyers do. As soon as we finish a fantastic and well-made RPG, we can't help but get excited for the next one that's
I will say I'm super pumped about Baldur's Gate 3. I have still not got very far into the game, and I've kind of abandoned it because I've got so many other things going right now. I am on my Miss Valley Gaming channel going to be restarting a Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough sometime soon. I don't know what that means. I have no date for that, but I would imagine sometime this spring. I would love to get back into it. As you may or may not know, this week here, I've got a 4 terabyte SSD hard drive on order. It's coming in. I'll be installing that in place of my 1 terabyte, which is my gaming drive. It is pretty much full. That happens when you mod Skyrim, which I do for my Miss Valley Mods channel, by the way. Check out all the links down below to my channels and my Discord. But I look forward to getting back into Baldur's Gate 3. Never finished it. Now, I'm excited about Dragon's Dogma 2. I totally am. I am looking forward to jumping in and playing this game. It's going to be quite the epic adventure, I am sure. However, even though I'm hyped about it, I don't know that I've been looking forward that as eagerly maybe as Jenna Rubicon has, because I've been so distracted with so many things going on. I've got this channel that I've been creating videos for. I've got my Miss Valley Mods channel that I've been doing a lot of Skyrim, modded Skyrim stuff for. Excuse me. And I'm going to be bringing Dragon Age Origins in there, modded as well, obviously. Anyway. And over on my Miss Valley Gaming channel, I've kind of blown up a little bit lately with my live streams of The Killing Antidote, which is they call it the Chinese Resident Evil. I think it's better than Resident Evil. I don't think it's going to sell more than Resident Evil, but I think it should. I think it's a really promising game. So things have just been really busy for me, as well as personal life and health stuff. So I've been looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2, but it's not like I've finished one game and been like, oh, I can't wait for the next one. I've been busy, and I've got multiple games I'm playing. I always play multiple games at once, which is fun.
It's going to come out. So since the game's full release is less than 2 weeks away, I figured I'd give the game a look and let you guys know what I'm most excited about for the release of this game. So a lot of criticism that I hear about Dragon's Dogma 1 was the map size. So my personal experience playing the original Dragon's Dogma and Skyrim, Dragon's Dogma was roughly half the size of Skyrim. So we're going to do a little bit of napkin math here. Skyrim's full size was 14.3 square miles. So divide that by 2 for Dragon's Dogma 1 size. That goes out to about 7.15 square miles. So Capcom has previously released that Dragon's Dogma 2 will be about 4 times the size of the original, which brings the square mileage of Dragon's Dogma 2 to roughly 28.6. Now, don't quote me on that. This is napkin math done by a content creator after all. I'm not a cartographer or whatever it's called, but I do remember that Dragon's Dogma 1 felt a lot more alive and just vibrant and more lived in than Skyrim did. And I really hope they were able to step that up a notch and make it.
I agree. Even though this game came out back in the original, was it 2014? I think it was 2014. Ooh. No, I gotta look it up. Go Wikipedia. Dragon's Dogma. What year did this come out? 2012. So it came out the year after Skyrim, and it definitely felt more lived in. The NPCs were very baked into the game. Like the towns, the NPCs, and they still weren't that great compared to, NPC AI nowadays. Can I say AI? Well, yeah, NPC AI of games nowadays is much better than it was back 10 years ago. So I'm expecting it to be pretty awesome. But yeah, Skyrim, everybody felt pretty wooden. The characters, right? And the mods helped a lot, but they're still pretty wooden. And you didn't quite get that feeling from it in Dragon's Dogma. What you did get, though, was a very different aesthetic to the game. It looked very different, and it felt very different from Skyrim. Tell they were being made around the same time, but we're pulling from very different directions and different sources to make the game. Very, very interesting. Yes. Sorry, I'm probably off topic. I apologize. It's one of those days.
Even more so for a quadruple-sized landscape. So the map is not as big as like a GTA 5 or anything like that, which comes in at a staggering 50 square miles.
You don't have a car either.
Anything that Starfield ever taught me, it's that size doesn't always matter. Or at least that's what I tell myself to sleep at night. All I'm saying is, as long as the world feels vast as well as vibrant and full of life, I'm going to be very happy. So another thing that I'm very excited about with this game,
suck it, Todd Howard. Sorry, just had to say that.
Is the NPCs and the depth that they seem to have. So this is a little bit reminiscent to me of the Shadow of War Nemesis system, in which NPCs will remember your actions towards them, either good or bad.
That's
so
good.
Your actions affecting NPCs is not really a new concept whenever it comes to RPGs, but one of the things that is being pioneered here is that someone other than a direct companion of the player will react to your actions to other NPCs. So I'm going to give you an example here. So in Starfield, if two characters are, let's say, brothers, and you kill one of the characters, I'm being a little generous here, because in Starfield, you can barely do anything to any NPCs that has any lasting consequences or anything. But if you kill one of the brothers, the other brother will likely start attacking you. But as soon as you go to jail and pay your fine, the other brother will treat you like a normal person. He won't have any, untoward feelings towards you.
Wow.
So in this game, it seems like if you were to kill the brother, the other brother would remember for the rest of the game that you are the person who killed his brother, and will constantly hate you and possibly try and hunt you down or something like that. That's what I can gather from what's been released.
I'm going to get hunted down by a lot of brothers.
Another example right out of my ass here, and again, I could have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just going off of what's been released so far.
But you're a general, so people have to listen to you. Even if you pull something out of your ass and you say, "Smell this," people are going to be like, "Yes, sir, General." Just saying. General Rubicon. Sir.
So let's say you're at Ye Old Tavern and you see a dashing fair maiden with
Nice
her
work.
ankles prominently displayed. So you
Haba.
waddle over there, slam your drink down on the counter and say, "Madam, I would be remiss if I did not ask for a romp in the hay with you." And perhaps
Wow.
her ye old husband is standing right next to you, and now he hates you for the rest of the game. That's just an example that I pulled out of my ass. I
That
thought
is a
you guys
good
would
one.
enjoy it a little bit. So anyway,
You shouldn't talk about like wanting to bed a woman and pulling that out of your ass though, because that's mixing your metaphors in the correct way incorrectly or something. I don't. Trent, help. All right, never mind. Trent's no help on this one. I got myself into that one.
Depth that I really enjoy from RPGs, and it seems like Dragon's Dogma 2 is implementing this into the game. And this is the kind of scenario that I think would be really funny if it is true what Capcom has released so far. So the next thing that
Would be even funnier if you killed her brother first. And then she was a necromancer and brought her brother back from the dead. And then you hit on her in front of her undead brother, who she's also shagging. So then he hates you. That would make it so much more epic. Capcom, you've got to do this. Write it into the game. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
I'm really excited about is the pawn system. So the pawns kind of act as followers to the main player, and you can create one pawn yourself, but what they decided to do with the other two is very interesting. Yes. So the other pawns are actually AI controlled companions that have been created by other players within Dragon's Dogma 2. They can have different experience than your player. And
so are you aware of the pawn system? You're allowed to have a party of 4. Your party of 4 will be yourself. You create your own main character, obviously. Your main pawn you create. Okay, and then you've got 2 pawns you basically hire, for lack of a better term. And those pawns are somebody else's main pawns. I just blew some of your minds, I know. So instead of having a co-op game where you and your buddy get together, blah, 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 your buddy's like, "Hey, man, I created this really awesome main pawn for my game." And you're like, "Yeah, what's your pawn's name?" And now I'm going to adventure with your main pawn as well, as they'll be one of my extra pawns. And you're leveling up that pawn, and when you're playing and then your buddy jumps into the game to use their main pawn has had experiences that their main character hasn't had and has leveled up. You understand what's going on? Like, that is a really unique system. And don't get me wrong, that was there in the first game, which is why I understand it. It is a really, really neat system. So you've got 4 main vocations or classes, but they call them vocations, right? You've got fighter, thief, archer, and mage. Okay, and you can splinter off into various different things from there. Like the archer, you could become a mystic archer. Your mage, you could become a trickster or just a straight healer. You get different things. Your warrior is a basically sword and shield type. You can become a 2-handed, right? There are different things you can branch out into off those 4 main vocations. But if you wanted to have a balanced party, you might create your main character as a fighter. You might create your main pawn as a mage. And then you might go hire yourself 2 other pawns who are a thief and an archer. I mean, if you wanted to have a balanced party, you may not want to do that. You may want to have your main character as a fighter, your main pawn be a mage so they can heal, and then go hire 2 more fighters and just be a tanky party. Like, it's up to you, but it's a cool system. It's really, really cool.
Maybe even gear that you haven't found yet. So this actually harkens back to something that I loved so much about Baldur's Gate 3, in which your companions may be more skilled and proficient at things than your own player may be. Yes. Like, let's say you're playing as a mage and one of your pawns is a thief. They're going to be a lot better at stealth engagements, for example. And another little cool detail that they added in about the pawns is that they can actually be subject to a disease called Dragon's Plague that they revealed in a Twitter post right here. It reads, "Dragon's Plague is a contagious disease disease that infects pawns. Infected pawns display remarkable performance and become conspicuously strong in their speech and behavior. When it reaches a terminal stage, it is rumored to result in devastating calamity.
Oh, I didn't see that part. So it actually will kill them at some point, and it sounds like, I don't know if they explode or they just go psycho and don't want to kill everything around them. I was thinking, well, that's a really cool thing. I want all my pawns to have Dragon's Plague, but I didn't hear that end part before. Oh. Huh. I wonder if Dragon's Plague was only gotten when you face off against a dragon, perhaps? They get hit by it, raked by its claws, I don't know. Grabbed it in its mouth and survived. I don't know. Interesting. Let's see how that works out.
Calamity. So from what I've read, pawns are entirely interactable, so I can only imagine a situation where you get to know your pawn and y'all become close buddies, and then throughout the game he contracts Dragon's Plague and maybe you don't catch it, so then you end up having to have a fight to the death with one of your pawns.
Probably was
very interesting. And that leads into the fact that pawns are completely interactable, and they may even have their own morals, convictions, personalities. It's very really interesting to think about. And it's great.
You didn't really have as much of that in Dragon's Dogma, the first game. So I'm thinking this is one of the things they've done to expand upon the experience and make it more like the creator originally wanted things to be. Just giving more personality and stuff to your pawn, especially your main pawn. And I think that's really cool. Be able to talk to them, interact with them, and have them express their opinions that are completely different than yours. Pretty cool.
For me, because that was one of my favorite things about Baldur's Gate 3 was how in-depth the NPCs actually are, and your interactions with them can be completely different on 2 different playthroughs. And I just think that's really cool. That's one of the main things that drew me into Baldur's Gate 3. So another one of the things that I'm actually very excited about, and I'm very happy that they're bringing over from Dragon's Dogma 1, is the Vocations and multi-vocations. So of course in Dragon's Dogma 2, you have your standard fighter, mage, thief, and archer vocations. But through skill in playing the game, you can actually upgrade your standard vocations. For example, you can upgrade the fighter into a warrior, in which he is now able to wield 2-handed weapons such as a great sword and a warhammer. Another example is the sorcerer, which is an upgraded version of the mage, in which you can cast more powerful spells. And also, if you and one of your pawns have the same spell learned, you can do sort of a fusion dance and unleash one huge powerful spell on the enemy. But in this game, you can do also somewhat of a multi-class with the mystic spear hand. It kind of combines a melee and a magic approach in which you can cast spells on the enemy and then get in close with a spear and absolutely devastate them. You can teleport around the battlefield. Like right here, you can see he teleported to the top of that creature and stabbed it in the back. That's what I'm going to be playing as personally. So as you can tell, the hype is real and there's a lot to be excited about with Dragon's Dogma 2's release in 2 weeks. I personally think it's going to be 2024's game of the year, but don't quote me on that quite
yet. I've talked about this before, and I don't know about that. It could be RPG of the year. I think it has at least a good shot at that. But it's way too early to say if it's going to be game of the year. Way too early. And again, I think some people don't understand this game and what it's going to be. And some people are going to perhaps even purchase the game and jump into it and be very confused by it because it's not like other games. It truly isn't like other games. And some people are going to be put off by that. They're going to be expecting something that is familiar, and they're going to find something that's not familiar in this game. You have to learn this game. And it's like some people are not going to like you've got one save spot. So you don't have the ability to go back and fix your mistakes. You want to go back and fix your mistakes? Start the game over. There's going to be some people who don't really, they don't understand the pawn system. Maybe they don't like it. They maybe won't like that they can't co-op with their buddies in this game. Maybe they won't like there's no fast travel. Maybe they won't like when you do get on a cart, it's not like in Skyrim. You're actually going to take the cart ride and probably get attacked while you're in the cart. and the cart only goes to one destination. You can't choose where it goes. You find the cart. The cart's guy's like, yeah, I'm going to this town. Pay me and jump in if you want. I mean, it's a very, very different game, and some people are not going to like that there's so much map that it doesn't really tell you where to go. It's like you pick up a quest and it's like over to the east is east. We'll go this way. Over to the east is a ferocious, Hydra monster that's been looting farms. And you're going to have to just wander around to the east trying to find this, or talking to people trying to narrow down where it is. You're not going to get a map marker for it. It's a different game, and there's going to be people who, first of all, buy the game, jump into it, and can't stand it. They're going to feel like they're cheated because they believe something about the game that wasn't true, or they listen to people describe the game who've described it and compared it to Skyrim or to, I don't know, to Elden Ring or Lords of the Fallen or Dark Souls or Baldur's Gate 3 or this or that, and it's all misinformation because it's not true. You're also going to find people who are just going to get hate campaigns against this game because maybe they don't like Capcom. Maybe they don't like RPGs. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's not enough people of different ethnicity in there for them, because nowadays you get hate campaigns over that stuff sometimes. I'm just saying, maybe there's not enough choices to be binary characters, like hate campaigns. There's going to be hate campaigns possibly over people who have never played the game, look at it and say, this is not the kind of game I'd like to play. This is fucking terrible. And so they're going to badmouth the game all over the internet. This shit's going to happen. You know it happens. It happens all the time. If a game is big and popular, there's more likely to get a bunch of that happening. I'm just saying, it's kind of a niche game that's really trying to break out big. And it's an interesting thing to watch unfold for me. I don't know how it's going to do. I mean, I think it's going to do well. But is it going to do well enough to get over the kind of hump that'll put it into RPG of the year or possibly Game of the Year? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But I'm still pretty excited for this game, as you can probably tell.
Because we also have Black Myth Wukong coming out later on. It's a Souls-like game that's going to be completely awesome. Yeah. I'm going to be doing a video about that in the future. But I personally am so excited for Dragon's Dogma 2. I loved Dragon's Dogma 1. And I've been waiting for a sequel ever since I played it for the first time about 5 years ago. I know I played it late. It's okay. It's really cool to see all of the developments for Dragon's Dogma 2.
I think I played Dragon's Dogma, the original, back in, I want to say 2016 or 17. So it was a long time before I had my channel. In fact, I think I was playing that, and then I kind of got more into Skyrim. Whereas I played a little bit of Skyrim before it, but then I got into modding Skyrim, and then, that kind of took over my life for a while. Like forever.
To Black Myth Wukong, because the last time I was really hyped for a game was probably Elden Ring. I really can't remember a time before that I was just so hyped to play a game. I got in on Baldur's Gate 3 kind of about a month after it came out, and I didn't really have that much excitement at all for Starfield because I kind of knew that it was going to be bad from the very start. Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited about Dragon's Dogma 2, and I hope you guys are too. But yeah, anyway, you guys feel free to let me know what you...
As I said before, check out the link down below to the original video by General Rubicon, sir. And right over here, oh man, we've got some of my videos right here. This over here is... First of all, if you check out my Miss Valley Gaming links, right here we have a link to my last live stream where I finished the Killing Antidote demo, which is in beta playtesting, and this is like my own video. This is on Miss Valley Gaming channel, and this is what they call the Chinese Resident Evil. It is an excellent game, still in beta testing. Just a demo for the game. Probably a long ways for coming out. 2-man studio out of China. Really, really excellent game. Also, over here on Miss Valley Gaming, we've also got my video on Dragon's Dogma 2 character creator and storage, where I go through the whole character creator, create a main character and Arisen for you to see, show you a bunch of the options, show you how to go through that. I'm going to like that video too. And so that's all on my Miss Valley Gaming channel, which is linked down below as well. Anyways, once again, I remind you, please consider subscribing to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, liking the video, and dropping in on the comments. Everybody, hope you have a great day. My name is Dread. This is Miss Valley Entertainment News. And I am pretty damn pumped about Dragon's Dogma 2, as apparently is General Rubicon. General Rubicon, sir! Thank you, sir, for letting me peruse through your video and make my own comments. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.